Oh, I've been at it for a while now. Took apart the camera. I did some soldering. I got my battery, voltmeter, but it doesn't want to fire. I was able to charge up the coil, and I can hear it charge up, but it did not fire. So what I did was I tested some connection points. I first tested the battery. It came out 1.5. I did some soldering from the negative terminal and the positive terminal. I made some leads coming off from the battery, from the original battery connection. I'll show you. See that? Negative, positive end. Focus, positive. And this is connected to a battery right here. I taped the ends up. But those came out 1.5. Now I tested here also, here 1.5, and then I tested at the capacitor. Now, the capacitor, most of these I believe are up to 300 volts. I tested it, and this one specifically came out to 240. So I know that the capacitor is holding a charge of some sort. And then from that lead, this one went to the end of my barrel. This was something else. This is something else I was doing, but my other wire I was using was this wire. I tested it from the, let me see. So one of the wires coming off of the capacitor, the negative terminal, I connected it to the wire from the coil here, and then from that end I tested it from the positive end of the capacitor, as you can see here. From this positive to this negative was still 240 volts. But what I found interesting was I did a modification without the switch. When it touched my coil, when I tested my coil, it was not giving me any voltage reading at all. So after all that testing, I came to the conclusion that this wire, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's not conducting electricity for some reason. Like I said, I did a straight connection from one end of the coil from here to the other end of this coil here. Now I know these two here and here are 240. But when I connected it to the coil, no energy was in the coil. So, then I decided to use this wire. I was just doing a test, so I was just testing to see if it was gonna go on to conduct any electricity through this wire. But for some reason, when I started doing that, I started getting no readings in my capacitor anymore. But I was still getting the 1.5 here to here. So, but nothing in the capacitor, and I tried to charge it back up, but it for some reason would not charge up. But I'm still getting, I tested my battery with my voltmeter, it still reads 1.5. So either something's wrong with my capacitor, I did something to it, or something happened here. But I have not successfully fired a BB, which was my goal tonight. I was very excited, but nothing has happened yet. So I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board and figure it out from there, and hopefully get this to fire, because I really wanted to get it to fire. I'm just gonna have to open up another camera. So I want to get to fire. Over and out.